you a home, garden, or lifestyle brand? Have you been considering TikTok? If so, you're going to want to watch this episode of T.E.A Talks. So Con, right, I want to have some fun with this one. TikTok. Everyone's talking about TikTok these days. Even we're talking about it.
New kid on digital block.
It literally is, right? It really is. It really is. You know way more about TikTok than I do, so no pressure. So in this episode of T.E.A Talks, I'm going to be asking the questions and learning, Absolutely. And everyone else is just along for the ride.
Brilliant.
so come on then. So TikTok, as I said, everyone is seemingly talking about it. Just give us an overview with obviously the brands in mind that we're working with and what we're starting to now sort of do. What are some of the main sort of features, benefits? Why should brands be thinking about considering TikTok? What are your initial thoughts?
Well, so first of all, it's the brand visibility and and time retention essentially. So essentially, looking at TikTok, the short form content or short video format, which is so popular, allows for people to consume a lot of content in a very, very short space of time. And this is where you want to be because it is an interruption marketing. So people keep scrolling.
Yeah.
So your content needs to be there to be seen, and it needs to be there multiple times. So then we obviously get into the realm of viral trends and all that good stuff on TikTok, but it's not about that. It's essentially about being visible. And with billions of people and active users on TikTok, you would not want to be missing out on this one.
We are seeing a lot more brands want to getting onto TikTok, aren't we? Like even compared to a year or so ago, 18 months ago, there was, I think, a nervousness and a kind of we're going to wait and see.
Yes.
And I think there was even from ages. I'm thinking from an agency perspective, we were sort of we weren't one of the early adopters onto TikTok. We weren't. There were agencies that were, on it after it had been out for 5 years. We were sort of like, well, let's see. And then increasingly, we've sort of come around to the idea of, okay, this is an interesting channel. The audience is on there. As you say, people are engaging. And it's seemingly, compared to some of the other channels, social channels, easier. I say that with air quotes, but
yes.
you can get pretty good reach, right, on TikTok.
You can, yes, you can. So it's estimated that brands have got about 52 minutes of visibility daily on TikTok, which is wow. Astounding number.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
That is amazing.
And actually, thinking about that, the brands also need to overcome certain challenges when it comes to TikTok, because essentially it's very much about audience. And that's where brands feel like we don't have reach wide enough to be actually on TikTok. But actually, the caveat is, just carry on doing it. The way TikTok works is that the first 200 views are being shown to people, just all over globally. And then on the back of those 200 views, you can see how well your content performed. If it performed great, you've got 1,000, 2,000 views after a first, say, day or so, you've started doing something right. If you sort of sit along these 200 for days on end, this content hasn't worked, you have to reinvent and carry on doing some other stuff. I think because if we think about some of the clients we're working with, some of the questions that they've got is, well, can I use the content I'm pushing out on Instagram or these different platforms straight away onto to TikTok? And our answer every time is, in terms of from an ad perspective, is it's going to depend. So the alarm bell's going. I've said it depends, but it does depend. And again, it's trial it, you experiment. Because for some brands, based on the product, depending on what you're putting out on it can work. But for some, TikTok is its own thing. It's got its own. There's a certain type of content that we're starting to see that's working well on TikTok, isn't it? And it is different. There's not a one size fits all, but it is somewhat different to your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your other kind of platforms. Absolutely.
So you've got to experiment, haven't you?
Exactly, and that's where very nice point kicks in about the specific types of content that perform best on TikTok. So essentially anything behind the scenes. So like little DIY tutorials, they are fantastic for home, garden and lifestyle brands. It's phenomenal, an unboxing of a new mower and putting it together.
It's all the UGC stuff. It's the user-generated content. It doesn't want to look polished. It's quite TikTok works and it resonates with the audience if it's rough around the edges.
Exactly, and then you can have your product demos and I don't know, like transformations before and after, all that kind of stuff performs
all
really
that
well.
time-lapse stuff. It's all of that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the thing is that suddenly, you as a brand owner, you elevate yourself from being just a random person with a phone to a content creator. Because every single piece of content you can create can be pushed out to TikTok and actually become a piece of content. And your intent is very much to showcase and to show off.
Yeah.
And the intent of a person who is viewing it is to learn, is to be entertained, is for some emotion to be invoked in that as well. So this is where you can actually just have a lot of fun with the content that you are putting out.
Yeah, and I think if brands are not on it, or if they just experiment, I think the best piece of advice we can give is go and just get on the platform and just start using it as an end user and look
Just do it.
what else, the others in your industry, what are they doing? You know, what are your competitors doing? Or unless you've got that first mover advantage, in which case leverage it. But you know, just look at what others are doing and actually look outside of even your industry at what other industry and how they are humanizing, how they are making the content they're creating really relatable to the audience that's on TikTok. So have a look at that, do your research, but then as you say, just start using it is what we're just saying to brands. Is just before you even start thinking about it, just get on the platform, see if it works, get some ideas, and then just start to build it from there.
And I'll give you an example. One of our clients who has only recently joined TikTok, essentially a business owner, similar age to ours. What he's done, he posted 2 videos. One of them went nearly viral because he just used shown how to use a very specific tool for a very specific niche.
Yeah. It's very actionable.
It's very actionable.
Yeah, practical stuff.
And his question to me yesterday was, how can we leverage that? Are we going to start rolling out TikTok ads and so on? And I just said, do you know what? You're building your audience. Sky's the limit now.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. So in terms of how you can monetize it, when you think investment, ROI, how, if you're a brand, if maybe you're already doing it, what are the channels, the avenues to market, to monetize TikTok?
I would consider 3 straight away. So DTC, so direct to consumer, within TikTok, you can have your own e-commerce shop, your own e-commerce platform.
TikTok shop,
TikTok shop, exactly. And this is fantastic because straight away you just take out the need of maintaining your own website, because all you do, you just send the assets to TikTok. TikTok does everything else. You just take care of the fulfillment. That's it. Jobs are good in. Second one is your TikTok ads, which runs separately to your TikTok shop. And then the third one will be your UGC and influencer content. So essentially you can just buddy up with people who can review or they can promote your content for you. And this is how you go into the monetization side of things.
Perfect. And it's interesting to see how TikTok's evolving, because we're keeping an eye on the updates they're making. And, I mean, it's going great guns, which is really exciting. And even by the time we publish this T.E.A Talk, there's going to be new things happening. So they seem to be doing things more quickly than Google in some respects, in as much as just the innovation, which is great. It's really exciting. I think we're increasingly seeing that adoption from the brands we're working, which again is that in those home garden, we're seeing that. And I think it just to sort of wrap this then, because we don't have the same level of expertise, knowledge and experience of TikTok that we have in Google, because we haven't been doing it for 20 years, because it's only been out for a couple of years.
Precisely.
So and really being monetized. So like with everyone else, we're learning, we're experimenting, we're playing with it.
Along with TikTok.
But TikTok's doing the same thing, and our brand, but we're definitely seeing more interest, more brands going, I'm potentially interested in having a play with that, because we're recognizing that the audience is on it. So, but again, just to sort of bring it full circle and go, what are the most successful types of content that you could be putting on TikTok as it stands today, from what we're doing and what we're seeing? What do you think?
Definitely the behind the scenes and DIY kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very much show and tell.
Can you film that on your phone? You can do that on your phone.
You can do it on your phone. You can just whip out your phone doing anything you are currently doing. I don't know, if you are a lifestyle brand, just show off a couple of the product that you are.
It's getting in the office. It's showcase the team. It's give you that behind the scenes. That we may be selling the product, we may be selling a service, but we're real people. We're relatable, and that's the sort of content which is different to what you'd put out on your Instagrams, your LinkedIn's, your other platforms, your Google. That's where it's different, but that's where it's going to really resonate, isn't it?
Don't overthinking. Don't make it massively polished. Use photos. Have fun with it, and just do it. That's the biggest takeaway I would suggest. Just do it. Yeah,
I think it is, and I think it's worth experimenting with, because you might try it and go, this just doesn't fit for us, for our brand. You haven't lost anything. No. But I think it's a channel that's increasing such popularity that it's worth experimenting with, isn't it?
Absolutely,
and I think, and it can be. We're already seeing some brands doing incredibly well off the back of it, and it becoming. We're already allocating resource. We're increasing the resources that's going onto those accounts, which I think is just really, really, really interesting. So cool. Well, look, I'd say hopefully we're advocating of it. We're increasingly doing more of it. We're having a lot of fun with it. We think it's really interesting. Love to know what you think in the comments. Let us know. Are you a brand? Are you doing it? Are you thinking about doing it? Are you seeing good results? Have you tried it and now written it off? Absolutely love to know what you're doing, what's been your experience, and obviously what sector you're in. So let us know in the comments. Thank you so much. This is the first of a few ideas we've got for TikTok and other social channels. So we're going to keep them coming thick and fast. We hope you enjoy them, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye for now.